What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, and let's get into it. So, as you know now, Fight Week is well underway. Today, we just had the press conference for Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. Should I say the other way around? Daniel Dubois, the champion, defending his IBF title against Anthony Joshua, two-time world champion. So, yeah, big time week, fight week, and all the media's there. Before that, we had the grand arrivals the day before. So, yeah, now we're Thursday night. So we got Friday, and then that's it. We're into it Saturday. We've got the weigh-in coming tomorrow, and just wanted to talk about something interesting about this fight, and that is the trainer situation. Um, because one of the noticeable things about this fight week is that Don Charles, who is the head coach for Daniel Dubois, and who many people, including myself, credit with Daniel Dubois' kind of revamp and Daniel Dubois sort of turning his fortunes around, overcoming Jarrell Big Baby Miller and overcoming Filip Hrgovic. Don Charles has looked a bit like a sort of father figure character. And he's been a great addition to Daniel Dubois' team. I was a bit skeptical about, wondering who they're going to get after Shane McGuigan was gone. But anyway, yeah, so that we're in this situation now where Don Charles has been actually missing in action from the grand arrivals, and apparently he hasn't been seen around Daniel Dubois all of this week. And, we're at Thursday now. The fight's going to be in exactly 2 days' time. And for me, that is a very strange sign that the head coach, who should be, you would imagine, should be all over this, is nowhere to be found in this week. Now, when it comes to this subject, there are rumors floating around. And to be honest with you, it's one major rumor coming from Spencer Fearon. And Spencer Fearon, I watch his podcast, him and Tunde Jai. I watch it every week pretty much on the Sundays. And yeah, he's a guy that he knows loads of people in boxing industry. He knows Don Charles personally, and he also knows Daniel Dubois' dad personally. So he knows them both. And according to what Spencer Fearon's saying, he was talking about the dark arts and stuff, and apparently from what he's saying, he's very clearly come out and said that Daniel Dubois' dad is a weird guy, he's a strange guy, and he's been saying that he started on, I think it would have been the Sunday gone when I watched him and Tunde's podcast. He said, yeah, the guy's into the dark arts, and I'm just going to say one thing. No work of iniquity can get a victory over Anthony Joshua. Even if they do get a victory, they will not last long. And, for me, that definitely has some religious connotations. And come to find out that what he's referring to is that he's saying that Daniel Dubois' dad is somehow involved with some sort of maybe voodoo or some sort of juju, some sort of dark magic or black magic thing. And he's saying, that that's what his dad's into. Something that Spencer also pointed out was that his dad, Daniel Dubois' dad, is always the sort of cause of the splits with the trainers. So with other trainers that Daniel Dubois had, specifically with Shane McGuigan, Spencer Fearon, I think he pretty much stated that, well, that's down to the dad, and Caroline is a bit different. Caroline Dubois, Daniel's sister, she's a bit different. She said, no, I'm going to stay with my coach, but Daniel just sort of listens to whatever his dad says. So according to him as well, Daniel Dubois' dad wanted to actually fire Don Charles, and he was going around. Spencer, he said this on multiple interviews, that Daniel Dubois' dad said, this guy, Don Charles, is not serious. We need to get rid of him. We need to get rid of him. And apparently Spencer Fearon, according to his words, begged Daniel Dubois' dad to keep Don Charles in. And then after that, they carried on working. So, and you know what? Obviously, we can't know 100% on this because I'm not there. I don't know any of these people personally. But going based on what if what Spencer Fearon says is true, that Daniel Dubois' dad is interfering, he's very domineering when it comes to his kids and when it comes to boxing and the coaching, and he wants to dictate, and he's got his own ideas, and it kind of, the fact that those rumors, what he said is out there, what Spencer Fearon said is out there, and coupled with the fact that we haven't seen Don Charles at all during doing any media or doing anything during this week, which is, to be honest, this is the biggest fight of Daniel Dubois' career, really. I mean, I would say probably the Usyk in terms of the belts, what was on the line, but in terms of a crowd and it being in England, 96,000 fans, of which I'll be one of them. This is probably the massive occasion where you would imagine, if things were on good terms, that he would be there, he would be with his fighter. And I think, as much as I can't really confirm or deny what Spencer Fearon said about the dad interfering and that, it kind of makes sense because we haven't seen Don Charles at all. And I believe that if they were on good terms, then Don Charles would be around. Don Charles would be there. I mean, what else could he have to do unless he's got some sort of emergency? But and another thing about this is that when Daniel Dubois was asked at the Grand Arrivals about his coach and, where is your coach? Daniel Dubois just gave this robotic answer that as long as he's there on fight night, it doesn't really matter. That's all that's important, as long as he's there on fight night. And it's just a very drab answer. And for me, I just took his word for it. But when he was asked again tonight at the press conference, well, at the other depot, put him on the spot in the big press conference in front of everybody, and the response was the same. He said, "So Daniel, where is your coach? Where is Don Charles? This is a massive occasion for your career." And Daniel Dubois just gave exactly the same response, like the same sort of robotic response. As long as he's there on fight night, it doesn't really matter where he is. I don't know where he is and stuff. So for me, those are definitely worrying signs for Daniel Dubois at this point, because I think you need cohesion, you need your team to be together. You don't need any mess around you. You need your coach to be right there by your side. You need to be on the same page with your coach. I think, you can't have infighting and disunity in your team. I think you ideally going into this situation, which is I'll only say it's not his biggest test because he's fought Alexander Usyk before, which I think is better than Joshua. But this is the biggest thing you're gonna do, and for me, it's quite worrying that we've heard these rumors, and it's quite worrying that we've not seen Daniel Dubois coach. I mean, I hope for Daniel Dubois' sake that this doesn't mean anything, that maybe it's just a case of Don Charles intentionally doing this, so he's just sort of staying out of the way, and might have his valid reasons for it. But I think, yeah, there's a good chance, there's at least a 50-50 chance that things are not well in Team Dubois when it comes to his dad and his coach, or between him and his coach. Some have pointed out also that Daniel Dubois has really, in terms of his victories, he's bigged up his dad, but he's never really bigged up Don Charles. He's never really given, as Spencer Fearon puts it, he's never really props his coach or given props to his coach. So yeah, I mean, it'll all come out on Saturday. We'll see what happens. I mean, we've got the weigh-in tomorrow and Friday, so more will be revealed. But for me, these are worrying signs. The fact that we've not seen Don Charles, and simultaneously we're hearing these rumors about, some have even said Don Charles has been sacked. But at the very least, we've heard that Daniel Dubois' dad at some point in the past has called for the firing of Don Charles. So there's something definitely fishy and something definitely not right in Team Dubois based on what I'm seeing. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism, over and out.